hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's when she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's long since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, baby, please. Cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth just like Aaliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body make a bend up for that reeling. Bad man turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body make a bend up for that reeling. Bad man turn you over like a steering. Well, she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go, yeah, yeah, yeah. She telling me to come forward, come for me. She said, baby, why you so low-key? Never seen you up in these streets. She a baddie running game on me. So they be really working OT. You're tryna get to know me, but I don't wanna budge, no. I can tell that she a freak, it's a freak that she wants, so you know the vibes, it's mine, no time for solos. You already know, when I pull up on the cuffs, you know we have to keep it gangsta for true. You told your cousin I'm a dub, then you look me in my eyes and said, you're mine, oh. You're mine, oh. For these other bitches, are you dumb? For real, see, I know you wanna. What is this? Witness this. Seen it turn you on, now she wanna get it on. She a freak in the sheets, ain't nobody here for creep, so I don't mind if you wanna spend some time. Whoa, whoa. She know we have to keep it gangsta for true. You told your girls that I'm a dub, then you look me in my eyes and said, you're mine, you are mine, oh. You're mine, you are mine, oh. The fuck these other bitches, are you dumb? That's why that you're a freak. You've been a freak of the week, but you're still a lady in these streets. But I know you a freak. You've been a freak like me, but I just want some more. You told your friends that I'm a dub, then you looked them in the eyes and said, he's just a vibe, he's that guy, but he made me shy and cry. I wonder why. Oh Lord, she's a freak. You've been a freak of the week, but you're still a lady in these streets. But I know you a freak. You've been a freak like me, but I just want some more. You told your friends that I'm a dub, then you looked them in the eyes and said, he's just a vibe, he's that guy, but he made me shy and cry. I wonder why. Oh Lord, she's a. She said, baby, why you so low-key? Never seen you up in these streets. She a baddie running game on me, so they be really working OT. You're tryna get to know me, but I don't wanna budge, no. I can tell that she a freak, it's a freak that she wants, so you know the vibes, it's mine, no time for solos. You already know, when I pull up on the cuffs, you know we have to keep it gangsta for true. You told your cousin I'm a dub, then you looked me in my eyes and said, you're mine, oh. You're mine, oh. For these other bitches, are you dumb? For real, see, I know you wanna. What is this? Witness this. Seen it turn you on, now she wanna get it on. She a freak in the sheets, ain't nobody here for creep, so I don't mind if you wanna spend some time. Whoa, whoa. She know we have to keep it gangsta for true. You told your girls that I'm a dub, then you looked me in my eyes and said, you're mine, you are mine, oh. You're mine, you are mine, oh. The fuck these other bitches, are you dumb? That's why that you're a freak. You've been a freak of the week, but you're still a lady in these streets. But I know you a freak. You've been a freak like me, but I just want some more. You told your friends that I'm a dub, then you looked them in the eyes and said, he's just a vibe, he's that guy, but he made me shy and cry. I wonder why. Oh Lord, she's a freak. You've been a freak of the week, but you're still a low key. Never seen you up in these streets. She a baddie running game on me. So they be really working OT.
It does kill it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Luvac left. You don't want to change from the 4-3.
What's going on, people? We are back again on the Jerry James Show for another tactics board. Let me know if you can hear me, because I'm having a bit of issues on mine. I've been trying to solve it this whole time. If you can hear me and see me and I'm not lagging and stuff, that is fantastic. Let me know. Are we in the clear? Cool. I think we are. Big up to everyone in the building, man. Hope you're doing well. It's the tactics board, as I've said, and yes, it's a positive one. It's a positive one because not unlike my prediction, because I did predict a 2-1 win, Liverpool actually managed to run out 3-0 winners at Anfield yesterday for the 2 p.m. kickoff. Again, not televised for any UK watchers, which is getting a bit frustrating if I'm being honest. But hey, we take the 3 points and we keep it moving. And looking at the table, obviously, before that draw, before the Man City Chelsea draw, we were actually ahead of Man City. I think a point behind Man City, which is obviously crazy. But big up to everyone in the building. Hope we're doing well. This is the tactics, but the best tactics analysis on YouTube. That's what I'm going to claim. That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking into an existence. But yes, I'm going to get into all the comments before I get into anything. Big up to Ultra in the building, saying big up to Jerry in the chat. Big up to yourself. We've got Red for Life in the building as well. We've got Jason Howe. We're going to get into your comment. Don't worry. I'm saving all of these ones. I'm saving them. Big up to Honesty in the building today. We in the building. That's it. That's G saying. And the thing is, G about me making an appearance. So big up to him as well. I'll make sure we're subscribing to GTV Football. Big up to Angel 1968 as well. Big up to yourself. We've got who else we got in the building? We've got John Thomas in the building as well. We've got Boom 43 in the building as well. We got Endsman in the building as well. Big up to Ends. Hope you're doing well. Endsman saying, say it again, Jerry. 3-0 winners. Yeah, 3-0 winners. And the thing is, second best, but we let it slide. Exactly. But the thing is, you have to remember, Ends. I think you were predicting what? Was it a 1-0 win? 2-1 win? Something like that. Big up to Frank Carlisle as well. Hope you're well, Frank. Hope you're well. Make sure we're heading over to Frank's channel. I know Frank's doing really some real good content there as well. Some late night stuff, some Liverpool stuff. So yes, Angel 1968 saying my predictions are absolutely diabolical. Thankfully, yeah, because I think you predicted a draw, didn't you? I think you predicted a draw. 2-1 win. There we go, Ends. 2-1 win. But yes, and look, we might as well get straight into it, man. Just get into it. Liverpool obviously going into this game. I want to start with something that I just found really hilarious. I think I like doing this in the game. We had the kind of remembrance. It's not Remembrance Sunday, but we had the little. Remembrance Day trumpet playing, and I've seen about hundreds of them in my lifetime now. In school, we've heard it. In games, we've heard it. We've heard about, if you've watched football, we've probably heard about 5. This season already. They play it before the game. The kind of the little trumpet thing. The trumpet guy, I don't know about anyone else, was playing that tune so fast. I honestly thought, this brother can't even be bothered to be here, He's just going, he's just losing it. I was saying, I'm trying to get my money and cut. I ain't trying to be here. And it actually, it kind of fed into what type of game it would be, because even though the scoreline was a 3-0, we weren't free from any chances, and you could suggest, and you could potentially suggest that although the game was very kind of end to end and quite entertaining at times, it wasn't a top performance from Liverpool that the scoreline would suggest. Hold on, guys, what are we doing? Cats are fighting. I feel like I'm babysitting now, guys, but it's crazy. But listen, but yeah, going back to what I'm saying, it wasn't the best performance. You guys can probably in the back. It is what it is. I have to sort it out. But it wasn't the best performance, but it was the best scoreline. So for me, cool. We take it. and we go on it. Big up to Gordon saying, look, big up Jerry, great performance yesterday from our boys. Hope they can keep it up as we say City next time. You got this. You'll never walk alone. All the way from Cape Town, South Africa. Big up to yourself, man. When I see people from different countries, honestly, it's so humbling. So thank you so much. But speaking on the performance, I don't think it was the best performance. We've had better performances. I think it was a good performance all round. Like, you can't win 3-0 and not have a good performance. But I think the start wasn't there. And look, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We started the game and Brentford had a very good chance. A very good chance with Mboma being put through a through ball in behind. We didn't really play the offside track really well. We went through, and of course, we had Ali to go and save us. But these are the stats from the game. Now, of course, on the left-hand side, so the numbers that are on white, that's obviously Liverpool stats, and Brentford's on the right-hand side. We're seeing there, when we're looking at, obviously, shots, 17 to 16. Now, of course, we had 10 shots on target, which shows that going forward, we were absolutely fantastic. And we're going to get into why I believe that was. But the stats don't lie, yeah? And having 16 shots or facing 16 shots that come, and let's be honest, weren't from outside of the box. Like, there weren't no screamers or constant kind of shots from distance. It does kind of... It looks a bit worrying. And from a statistical point of view, you would look at that and try to go and minimize that. Now, we're seeing there 16 shots for Brentford. They had 2 big chances to Liverpool's 3. And look, Liverpool kind of capitalized on their 2 and then had probably that Jota chance, which wasn't a big chance, but it was such a good goal. It ended up being a goal. They had 2. And that's what Liverpool's issue is this season. And that's not to say, again, I'm not saying Liverpool didn't have a good performance, but when we're looking at the tactical side of the game, it's important to go and look at these, obviously, these figures and these stats. We have to obviously bear in mind that Nunez did have 2 goals in the back of the net disallowed for offside, 1 bicycle kick and 1 kind of tap-in that were both kind of, judged to be offside, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. I mean, you've got to say goal line technology was used correctly in those phases of play. But if we keep going on again, just to suggest Liverpool's kind of dominance on the ball, which Liverpool have become a possession-based side as a result of teams sitting back and recognizing that our weakness is breaking down teams, as we spoke about earlier, is of course 415 completed passes in comparison to Brentford's 269, 123 attacking third passes with 61 for Brentford, 16 take-ons to their 19. When you're making a lot of take-ons, that does suggest that you are breaking in transition, and it means you don't have a lot of the ball. I've realised that whilst doing these stats. 20 crosses to their 18, 21 tackles to their 20, 5 interceptions to their 11. Of course, they're going to have more interceptions if you've got more of the ball, and of course, 16 fouls to their 12. But when you're looking at these stats, it does suggest to us that, although it was a good performance from Liverpool, just to summarise, there are certain aspects that we can get better in. And for me, it is about limiting the amount of chances that we can have. And a player that was adjudged, this cat, as you guys can see here, come in. This cat is annoying me now. So, as I'm saying, of course, a player that was responsible in kind of stopping these attacks and kind of attempting to help Liverpool bridge that defensive, that bit of cover that we've lacked since obviously selling Fabinho, and Henderson was of course Endo. Now I'm going to get into Endo, but before that I need to obviously get into your comments and see what you guys are saying. But I know a lot of you guys have a lot to say about Endo, etc. Big up to Steve Newton. I'm gonna get your comment in later. Captain Sal saying I thought it was a good performance. Yeah, I think it's a great performance considering the injuries and suspensions we had. I agree. Angel at 68 saying letting a striker clean through schoolboy, and that's exactly what it is. And it's just something to obviously go and look at. Pinnock's header was dangerous, and VVD goal and clearance was good. Exactly. They also had that chance when Pinnock kind of like missed the ball with his foot and it went wide, and I think it was their first set piece which showed that would be a bit dangerous. Of course, we've got KLFC really saying Endo isn't good enough, man, and look, we're going to get into it. We're definitely going to get into it. Angel at 60 obviously talking about the man of the matches as well. Endman saying who, Jerry, the number 6 that we don't have. Yeah, Endo's the 6 that we have. So you're saying who, Jerry, the number 6 that we don't have. We do, and that player was Endo. Now that obviously goes into my point. And there's a massive, massive agenda when we're talking about, you know, a defensive midfielder. Why isn't the defensive midfielder good enough? Obviously, there's the stats saying about, you know, there was 10 duels contested and Endo, do you know what I mean, wasn't, do you know what I mean, Endo was one of those players that, you know, had no successful duels in those 10 duels contested. And, you know, there has been an agenda since he's come in. And I've realised, I do believe people are expecting a certain level from a player that he isn't. And the best way to describe it is, if you know, like, you know what I mean, your PG Tips tea is gonna make you tea, you can't expect for it to make hot chocolate when you pour water over it. And what I mean by that is, Endo is Endo. Endo's not a world-class DM. He's not going to be on the level of a Rodri, of course not. But what he can do is do what he did in that game. And I think it was a decent performance. If I'm looking at it, it was probably about a 6, 7 out of 10. Now, if Endo can consistently be a 6, 7 out of 10 player, for me, that's fine. I'm not expecting 10 out of 10 performances. You know, there's always going to be this magnifying glass on this player because we feel as fans as though there's in our squad, if you had to look at any position where we could probably improve, it would be in that role. If you're thinking of obviously purchasing this solid, old school kind of the best number DM that you could go and get, whether that's a Rodri, what Fabinho was, an old school Kante, that type of player. Liverpool aren't looking to go and get that type of DM. And I think that's, if we look at the players that we signed, it does kind of suggest that. And what I'm actually going to do, which is going to be quite interesting, I'm actually going to compare Endo with who to compare him with. Because it's going to be quite interesting to go and compare Endo's stats with someone that's gone and played in the Premier League, but someone that we know we would have been happy with getting. So let's go and have a look before I get this up for you guys. Because I actually want you guys to let me know what players are you looking to go and compare him with. So Endman's saying Rodri. We can compare with Rodri 100%. We've got Painha as well. You know what? I like the Painha one because Painha is one that we wanted. It's one player that we signed. I wanted Painha as a DM. We all said, you know, if we could get a Painha, then we'd mean that, you know, Liverpool can potentially go to a next level in petition. Let's just go and have a look at some of these. Ground rules 1, ground rules 1, group success. 2 seconds, people. Just getting these stats up. Yeah, we'll do it from there. All right, cool. Let's do it. You know, we'll do it with Rodri first. Actually, I'll do Painha first, and then we'll do Rodri after. Let me just trying to get it up. Sorry, my computer's bugging out. I need to actually get a new laptop, people. Per 90, yeah. All right. All right. This is going to be interesting. And by the way, I'm doing this because I just want to go and have that kind of debate and see, are we over kind of stating the poor performance of Endo, or are we actually saying, no, you know what, he's poor, he's bad? And I just had this debate in the WhatsApp group, so I wanted to do it with you guys. You guys should be able to see this now. So as we can see, we're doing it per 90. So I've looked at a few stats. Of course, Painha's got 0.3 more goals because he scored 1 goal this season. They've both got no assists, and he's created 1 chance this season, so he's got 0.3 on the ball. And this is an area we know where we probably spoke about Endo saying he's not good enough, he's not that player, we need to get this. McAllister's maybe an option there. Passes 55 to Fulham's obviously 43 per 90, 47.2 passes compared to 36 per 90 for Painha. Endo's making 19.1 forward passes, which was really progressive from a defensive midfielder. 7 backwards passes, so the same amount of backwards passes as Painha per 90, so very progressive for a DM. 29 sideways passes to Payne's 24.7. But this is where it gets a bit shocking. And, you know, when we signed Endo, we assumed he's this combative DM that's going to, you know, wearing a gum shield. And it seems as though he's not. He's actually a bit more progressive on the ball. We're looking at it here, and, you know, Payne's made 8.2 ground, won 8.2 ground duels. Endo's won 3.1. Endo's obviously lost 7.8 ground duels, and Payne's lost 5.9 ground duels. Obviously, a ground duel success of 28% compared to Payne's 58.14 is really bad comparing to Payne. And it does make sense why Bayern Munich were looking at him. In terms of clearances, he does well with his clearances. He did so at Stuttgart as well, 3.5, 1.8 clearances for obviously Payne, and interceptions and blocks better for Payne, but of course it's a more defensive team. I think another player we could actually compare it with, let's have a look, like Doucouré as an example. That's a good one because there was a lot of talk of, you know, Doucouré. Yeah. Shoot Doucouré for Palace. All right, and we're going to do a per 90 again, and we're going to see their stats say again, one chance created per 90, it seems, for Cheat Doucouré in the Premier League. Less passes, of course, as we're seeing. So less passes attempted, less passes completed, less forward passes, less backward passes, less sideways passes. Ground duels, again, much better. However, we have to remember he hasn't had 7 starts. He's had 7 appearances. That's something to remember. But, I mean, again, a better ground duel success. And maybe our kind of issues with looking at a defensive midfielder and looking at Endo is the fact that we're looking at him in regards to his performances off the ball, because that's what we expected he's going to be. If we go and look at, for instance, McAllister, and this is really this will be interesting to go and watch, because I'm actually intrigued to go and see not Kevin McAllister, Jesus, McAllister, Alexis, there we go, McAllister here. Similar stats, similar game. He's played more games, of course, which per 90, and obviously started a lot of games. So obviously he's assisting 0.2 times per game. So he's had about 1 assist a game. He creates maybe just under 1 chance per game. More passes attempted, of course. More passes completed. More forward passes, backward passes, sideways passes. And interestingly enough, more ground duels. Ground duels lost in comparison to Endo, and a better ground duel success. My only worry is we're basing Endo's performances on the fact that he's played 7 games and games that he hasn't started. Now, when I compare it to the game that we watch, and I say all of this to go and talk about, you know, I say all of this to go and talk about the game. Now, the game yesterday, Endo was under a lot of criticism, but I made a lot of tactical fouls that stopped Brentford's attacks. Now, I saw a lot of fans complaining at this situation, yet I was quite happy about that. And big up to Boom Boom 43 saying tactical fouling is much more important than losing ground duels in non-dangerous situations. Exactly. So his ability to go and do that without getting a card or without getting sent off or that type of situation means that he could be a vital member for Liverpool's team. Now, the stats won't always go and show it, but he had a decent performance and he contributed to the fact that we had a 3-0 kind of game, which is important to obviously go and see. I'm going to obviously have a look at what you guys are saying, because it'll be interesting to go and see what you guys are saying. GTV saying Doucouré is the one, to be honest, because people seem to fall in love with him for some reason. Yeah, that's what I just did now. Steve Newton saying, if Endo is not world class, why is he a DM at Liverpool? Because a football team can't be compiled of every player being world class. It just cannot. No team in the history of football, unless you're looking at the Galacticos. If you've been watching the David Beckham documentary, it was compiled of, world class players. And even then, they had a couple of players that weren't world class. You just cannot go and do it. You need some players that facilitate the world-class players to be at the level they want to be. So that's very important to obviously go and see. James Doherty saying, Endo is very deceiving. He's even slower than I first thought. Yeah, he's deceiving in terms of he's probably a bit more on the ball. He's probably a bit better on the ball than what's it called? Than what we would have expected. And that's the way I need to obviously go in. You need to go and see. Fernandinho, of course, was an expert tactical fouling. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Having a player that can go and do that and come off the bench and go and help us is probably the area that's what Endo's role is at the moment anyway. So looking at that, I don't think it's an issue at all. When I'm looking at Endo's position in the team, he doesn't scream starter to us. But having someone like that on the bench is beneficial. My biggest issue is in terms of that position is the fact that McAllister hasn't performed to the level that I would have liked him to, even on the ball. And I think if he did on the ball, we wouldn't really be having these issues of being countered a lot because he'd keep the ball a bit better. And I think he's been quite wasteful with the ball, if I'm being honest. I think that's where a lot of our issues stem. Ironically, we've got the best defense in the league. So that's really, really interesting to go and have a look. Moving on, of course, obviously from Endo. A player that I wanted to go and talk about. Another player that was subject to a lot of scrutiny, is the guy behind me. You probably see it there. The Greek Scouse, or the Scouse Greek, or however you want to call him. Kostas Tsimikas. Kostas Tsimikas, he's had a poor season. He's admitted in an interview he's had a poor season. He's been a poor player. A lot of us are saying, he's subject to he's surplus to requirements at Liverpool. We need to get someone else. Some of us were asking for Ait Nouri to come in potentially as a Tsimikas kind of replacement. I think he showed in that second half that maybe there is, not that we've been too harsh, because I think we've been rightfully harsh. I think we've relied on him a lot, and he's been poor in Europa League. He's been poor in the league. He's been poor in the Carabao Cup. But for a player like him to get 2 assists, of course, one of them being a fantastic ball into Salah, and then maybe perhaps quite fortunate because he just about kept it on. But then, of course, having a player having that assist for Jota as well, and on the stat sheet looking like, yeah, I've got 2 assists, does mean that we're getting a more confident Tsimikas that can only benefit Liverpool. And he had a decent game. He had quite a decent game. And then if we're looking at the stats, I was going to get this out for you. And this is a really, really important one. When we're talking about chances created, bar Brian and Mbeumo, who played for the other team, who I thought was absolutely fantastic and is a player that I would actually look at, and as I mentioned before, becoming backup to for Salah at Liverpool, which would have been really, really good to have. Tsimikas created 3 chances more than any other player on the pitch, more than Trent, more than Szoboszlai, more than Darwin Nunez, who obviously got an assist as well, more than Salah, who I thought was absolutely outstanding at the weekend. He had a really, really decent game, and he came into his own. And I think looking at this whole kind of situation for me, it's like, oh, okay, cool. We've got a real, do you know what I mean? A decent backup on our hands again, if he can keep up. 2 seconds, just trying to get this link. If he can keep up this level, because what Tsimikas was at his best was a player that was a backup. He knew he was a backup, but when he had to play, his level always remained consistent and almost played as though he wasn't a backup. Hence why a lot of us, I believe, were entertaining the idea of him becoming a starting left back. Do you know what I mean? Potentially displacing Robbo after a poor season from Robbo last year and the season before even, or not up to standard. Now, if you can stay at this level, I wouldn't mind having a left back only of his level as a backup. If this is the level he has when he comes in. The difficulty is when you're not starting games week in, week out, it's so difficult to keep up that level and maintain. I think Tsimikas spoke about, this being the first time in his career where he's had this kind of rot of form where he's been really, really bad. Hopefully this is obviously, he can go on from strength to strength, because right now we haven't really got anyone else looking at an injury list for the City game. I know we're going to obviously hope to get a lot of our defenders back. Konate, of course, injured. And hopes to get him back, of course, for that City game. So we've got some options from a defensive standpoint. But if we can keep him at that level, I think it's decent. And again, having backups on the bench that can come in and give you 6 and 7s out of 10s, I think that's always a benefit. That's always a benefit. But Igloo backup, that's a great one. I fear Tsimikas against City. I agree. Endsman speaking obviously on Tsimikas saying locked up one of the best right wingers in the league and got 2 assists after a terrible game midweek. Got to give him his flowers for this game. 100%. You have to. But lo and behold, is that who I think it is? I think it may be.
You're a madman. What are you telling me, though?
That G with a turtleneck. What is this? Like,
bro. Hey,
with a turtleneck. I can't believe I'm
come on, bro. Come on, bro. We just come straight from work. I mean, I dipped back. I said, nah. Let me jump up with Jerry, man. I streamed with Jerry in a hot set, man. Big up to yourself, bro. How are you?
Yeah, we got a first question from Liverpool videos. Big up to yourself, saying, "Why a Barca shirt in the background?"
That's my team. That's my team, bro. I've been supporting Barca for a long time. Are you crazy? Well, Barca. You see that top, yeah? Well, sorry, that top over that side. Listen, since them day, what year was that? Like 06 or something? That's probably since then I've been supporting Barca. Man, we don't hide around it. We don't hide.
I said the hood Picasso, That's mad.
Hey, you respect me when I'm at work, I'm not G when I'm at work, Like I'm who I am when I'm at work. But I said, nah, I ain't getting changed. I
hear you. But yeah, we're just obviously speaking about Tsimikas. Now, Tsimikas, again, another player that obviously got scrutinized. And I think rightfully so. He's been poor this season. Poor in Europe. Any performance I remember him just being dead. Got 2 assists on the weekend, a good ball, and then even being in that position to give Jota the ball. I know Jota still had a lot to do, but it's recognizing I'm not going to whack this into the back post. I'm going to cut it back for someone who's on the edge of the box. Got 2 assists. Like I don't know if you agree with me, but if you can just stay at this level, then we've got a decent backup. Like a backup that Klopp doesn't rotate left backs and right backs all the time. So if you can have a player on the bench and come on and give you 6 and 7s out of 10 all the time, then you're laughing. You're comfy for me in any position.
Yeah, no, facts. I agree. To be honest, I agree. Everything you mentioned today is everything I would have been saying about the game, but Tsimikas specifically, yeah. I think the problem is because we don't really we don't rotate like that. Yeah, I mean, we don't allow for players to be able to just kind of come in and out, and the team to still be able to function the same. So that's where we always I think that's why our depth at times looks a bit fugazi, because it's like the players ain't really dead. Yeah, I mean, you spoke about Endo and all of that. They're not dead. They're just, do you know what I mean? Like,
all of a sudden start giving out financial advice.
Hey, listen, if you man want investment advice, I mean, like, I mean, there's new stuff coming. I mean, like, obviously, you man were talking about Bitcoin a few years ago. Listen, I got something else for you, boy.
I said that or Pastor Toby starts telling you, yeah, you know what?
Hey, nah, don't even listen. Pastor Toby doing whatever he's doing on that side of the map. I don't even know if that's illegal. Like, I'm straight. I'm straight over here, boy. I'm straight.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, so yeah, 100%.
Hey, you man allow me with the turtleneck thing. Hey, I'm gonna just start wearing turtlenecks all the time now. Fuck it, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, bro. Fuck it.
Your brain don't work normal. Most people will be like, nah, I'm never wearing a turtleneck again. You said I'm wearing a turtleneck every day now.
Brother, I'm not gonna wear.
Instead of having the Liverpool top, she's gonna have like different color turtlenecks in the back.
Brother, you think it's a joke, bro? I got blue. I got like a khaki. Listen, when I come to work, they're looking at me like, oh, we say, man, you're looking smart today. I'm like, yeah, obviously. I mean, I know I look like ragamuffin when I'm on here, but when we're at work, we have to pattern up, man. Can't just be looking anyhow.
So obviously the stats there. Obviously, we showed that with Tsimikas. Another player that I wanted to analyze as well before I kind of look at kind of our positioning in the game and stuff is.
Guys, make sure you're smashing the light, by the way, as well, man. You can see them lights up.
Make sure we're smashing the lights, people. Is this guy here, man, at the top of that list? Virgil van Dijk. Again, a very, very good clearance in the game. A clean sheet, which obviously for a centre back is gold. What are you saying, man? Like, are you impressed by him? Are you saying, yeah, you know, Virgil's that he's back? You know, some people are suggesting he's back.
It's funny because you mentioned that I saw the chat in the group about him being back, and I was gonna reply, but I didn't have no time. But yeah, no, back is maybe a strong word. I don't think Virgil, in my opinion, is really close to that kind of level. If I'm being real, I just think that he's at a level where, yeah, like he'd be up there between him and Diaz. I guess just pick whichever one you kind of want. I would put those two as the two best centre backs, you know, in world football. You know, Virgil's got a way of playing. Diaz has got a different way of playing. I think they're different. If they would imagine those two as a partnership, that would be crazy. But yeah, no, listen, man, he's been good this season. But there has been games where, look, ultimately, we watch the Brentford game, we're watching other games, Liverpool being so open and stuff like that. That's not all on him, but he's a part of that, though. He's a part of sometimes when I'm looking at the defense and I'm like, why is there a gap in the middle of my defense when I'm supposed to have the best centre back in the world there? I don't expect that. I don't want that. I shouldn't see that. I don't care what the tactics is. I shouldn't be watching that like on a consistent basis when we've got the best centre back in the world. You know, so at times, yes, I think he could marshal the defense better. But as an overall this season, Virgil's been really good, man. Like he's been good. He's been good this season, and can't detract from that. I think the word back though, you'd have to just wait and see if he keeps up this form for the next 2 seasons, then calm. But at the moment, I would kind of hold off on that. I wouldn't say back. That's too strong.
Do you think that's due to the standard of defending dropping, him becoming better, or do you think it's the fact that he's now got that armband on, so he feels there's like a responsibility on the team now, so he's upped his game?
I feel like both, maybe both. Even when he was the best defender, you know, in the world at the time. I mean, we're going back in time. I can't remember the defenders back then, but I don't really remember there being like sick defenders. Like he wasn't part of the batch of like the Rios, the Terrys, and you know all of these guys where there's so many. It's so difficult to put someone at the top. You know, like but he's not like a lead.
I guess you had the younger Thiago Silva. You had, of course, a Marquinhos. You had PK was still playing. You had
but PK, them kind of guys like were
Barca, Real Madrid, respectively, innit?
Yeah, and them men were kind of like PK. At the time that Van Dijk was like the best, like undisputed, not even a competition. I wouldn't have put PK and Ramos up there. I would have been like, yeah, the man are like you'd be putting them there based on the legacy, but not in terms of right now, you know, kind of thing. I think, yeah. Listen, look, he's been good though. He's been like all I care about is you're good. You're doing your thing. Maybe you're right. Maybe the captaincy potentially might be enhancing it. Maybe who knows? I guess if we would only know if he wasn't the captain, would he still be putting in these performances? But yeah, man. Listen, look. Long may it continue. At the moment, he's contending with Saliba and Diaz and whoever else out there you guys want to put up there. So the competition ain't the greatest. So, you know, it's probably easier for him to stand out. But who cares, man? He's doing his thing. That's all I care about. I can't even lie.
I mean, here, one thing that's obviously stands out, of course, every team's got their different style. So, as an example, I'd like to see short pass accuracy on this obviously image here, because Ruben Diaz and Saliba probably make more short passes in a game because of the fact that those teams probably dominate position in a different fashion in the way Liverpool do. But in terms of long pass accuracy, Virgil van Dijk, sky high, 70%. Do you know what I mean? Long pass accuracy in comparison to 58 and 59 for Saliba and Diaz. Tackles made, he's making 1.4 tackle per game, as opposed to Ruben Diaz is making 1. Saliba is making just under 1. Aerial duels, 5. Aerial duels, 1. I don't know if it's per night. I think it might be in general, in compared to 1 as well for Ruben Diaz and 1 for Saliba. Aerial duel success, 82% for Verge, 52.94 for Diaz, and 54.5 for Saliba. Ground duels 1.7, 1.6 for Diaz, and 1.3 for Saliba. Again, Verge clocking there. Ground duel success, 75%. 53 for Diaz and 62 for Saliba. Clearances 5.7, 2.9 for Diaz and 2 for Saliba. Interceptions 1.6 for Van Dijk, 1.1 for Diaz, and just under 1 for Saliba. 1.4 blocks per game. Obviously 0.4 for Diaz and 0.5 for Saliba. It's weird. Saliba and Diaz actually look like a similar player, man. Similar player. You probably...
But that's the maddest thing, because you just showed up there. The first thing was long pass. Yeah. But I think long pass was one of the first things. I'm sure Saliba was just ahead, I think, of Diaz in terms of the 59 to 58.
Yeah.
Bro, both their teams play very similar. Liverpool don't play anywhere, nothing even remotely like that. So when we're then being countered and stuff like that, I think it's then going to be so much more different than it would be against an Arsenal or against a Manchester City. Whereas with Liverpool, the way that we're countered is, we're open, and we're doing more running and running back towards our goal. You know what I mean? We saw the game on the weekend, how many times he's coming up against Mbeumo, because Mbeumo's running in behind. He's having to use that pace that he's got, kind of thing. I don't feel like them man are having to realistically do that, because the way you set up against a Man City and Arsenal, it's going to be probably a little bit different than you would against a Liverpool. So some of those numbers look, the long passing accuracy and stuff, amazing. But some of them I'm looking at and thinking, I wouldn't be that impressed. If anything, I'm more worried that yours is so high in the first place. Like, why are you doing so much in the game in comparison to them, man? Like,
it's like the keepers. When like Liverpool and Mignolet's stats look incredible. They're like, oh my god, he's making 20% more saves per 90 than any other keeper. It's like, yeah, but he's at relegated Sunderland. Like,
exactly.
He's facing more shots in it. So it's like, when we're looking, it's like, oh, Verge is having to defend more than the rest of them, because you got the other two top teams in the league, who are obviously we're top 3, isn't it? These teams are top 3, and their centre backs are all at a similar level, and Verge is doing so much. If we compared it with, I don't know, Konate or Gomez or Matip with Ruben Diaz and Saliba, would their stats be so low, and Verge just averages everyone?
That'd be interesting. That'd be very, very interesting to see. I can't lie.
So yeah, that's there. I'm speaking on, of course, the main man, the record breaker, obviously 200 English goals.
I say that again for the people, man, because man couldn't hear you. I heard you talking very muffled and that. Say it louder, my bro. Come on, like, you know what I'm saying?
200 goals. 200 English goals.
Come on.
Chat to me about Salah, man. He's your guy. He wears turtlenecks as well, so maybe you got the fashion sense.
Hey, it's an African thing. It's an African thing. Yeah, I mean, he's from the other side. Obviously, I'm from West Africa and that. But I think I heard you speaking about earlier on, and you said, I think you said that how well you thought he played. I can't lie. I thought his performance was hella meaty as hell. Him and Diogo Jota, I thought they were both like just meaty performances. But I said it in my tweet on the weekend. They're so similar. Their man will just pop up with goal, assist, just something random. And you're just like, how? Like 2 goals? What? Salah, 2 goals again. En said it in the chat earlier on about Salah not being able to run past his man. All of those things were 100% correct. Guess what? Who finished with 2 goals at the end of the game? Who scored 98 goals now for Liverpool? It's going to be Salah. And Diogo Jota, behind Salah is the best finisher that we've got at the football club. So again, these guys, they will just be out of a game, and then out of nowhere they just score a goal, and there's not much more you can really say. But in terms of like an overall performance, I thought their performances were meaty, like the whole team, to be honest. I didn't think it was like all of that.
Salah's, I don't know, the 1-2s he was doing with Nunez, attracting a couple players, picking up the
look, he has his moments, like any world class player would expect to have their kind of moments. But as an overall performance, like honestly, I didn't look at Salah in the game and think, shit, man. I'm not saying you did. You said that, by the way. But like, I didn't look at him and think, fucking hell, man, we need Salah on the pitch. Like, I didn't really think that. Like, I thought Nunez, in my opinion, and I don't rate Nunez at all, but to me, Nunez was the best attacker that we had on the pitch. Look at him. Nunez was the best attacker that we had on the pitch, because he was the one who was trying to make things happen. He was the one who was making the runs. He was the one who was trying to drop deep, pop the ball left and right, etc., etc. Salah doing what Salah does, rightly so. I can't tell him no. Just stand out there on the wing, every now and again, trying to do a dead pass back to Trent, who pass it back to Matip or something. Like, it was just boring, and it was just that's like slowing down the game, and wasn't really doing too much. But when he comes alive, you can't chat to Salah, man. You cannot. That's why I love him. You cannot chat to Donny at all. Need a goal? I'm calling Salah. If he ain't there, I'm calling Jota. If he ain't there, then God help you. I don't know. Like, you have to just pattern it from yourself.
Do you think? But do you think Nunez is playing like that because of Salah, or do you think Nunez would be able to play like that if it was like Gakpo out wide?
No. Nunez needs like Salah, which is why I'm worried that if Salah were to leave, Jesus Christ, like I don't even know what Nunez would do. Nunez probably would just revert to type and just be the same brother we saw last season. Like, because Nunez without Salah looks dead. He looks exactly what I saw last season. Nunez with Salah, though, I'm sure. Big up Tom. I'm sure he put up a tweet saying this is the best combination in the Premier League and all that kind of stuff. And they just might be. I know their assist to each other is mad. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's a mad one that they've got with each other.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It's weird. I'm in that game. Like, and the reason why I talk about Salah back to his best is because in other games it wasn't necessarily his performance. He's been bad, I think, in a couple of games now. Like, he hasn't not getting a goal. He's been bad. He hasn't really created in the same way. But he was just so clinical. He was so clinical in the right moments. That header there, boom, just simple. That first goal when he gets it, Nunez was in a similar position, and and I know he scored the goal. It was offside. But he hit the post first, and it was like,
that's what I said.
If your day that goes out, do you know what I mean? And let's say you're onside, then on a day that's not your day, that hits the post and ricochets back out.
I was so baffled when he hit the post. I was like, how do you? But you know what? I'm not here to argue about all of that. Do your thing, Nunez, whatever, man. You're going to be who you're going to be, man. Ain't fine with you. But I think, listen, look, man, Salah's Salah, and without him, this attack, in my opinion, doesn't look that great. It just looks like any just kind of attack where you're just like, yeah, they got some good players, like, I'm saying, decent players hurt you on your day and but no one that you're scared of at all in the attack. Salah, you're always scared of him. I think Thomas Frank, after the game, he spoke about Salah being underrated, like doesn't get the respect and all this, bro. You know what I mean? Like, he saw it. Like, he knew Salah weren't really in the game like that. He weren't really doing too much. Like, it didn't worry me. Like, if I was Brentford, I wouldn't have been shook of Salah in the game. But then you have to be, because he's the one who's scoring the goals. Yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna be Nunez. It ain't gonna be a Gakpo, Jota, Diaz. Like, them men are not like reliable at the moment. At the moment, they probably will get there soon. But at the moment, they're not the ones that you're gonna rely upon. Salah's the guy that you rely upon, man. Like, you need a goal. He's becoming an inevitability, like a Ronaldo, man. So long may it continue, man. Egyptian king.
Yeah, I hate. Moving on. I mean, if you just have some look at the stats, of course, in any game, and I think this just kind of you know what time it is. If Salah's topping the shot charts, we do win majority of the time. When you got Jota against the second best finisher at the club, you know Liverpool are scoring goals and stuff. Darwin Nunez, 3.
What's shots. Zero? Like, what is it? What are the categories?
So it's 3 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals.
Oh, okay. So I just didn't know what it was.
Darwin with 3 shots, 3 on target, and 0 goals, because of course the offside shots don't count. Is a bit. Yeah, it's interesting. I think Nunez, if anything, if we're moving on to Nunez as well, because we're talking about the shots, I feel as though even if it's just for morale, when Nunez plays, I feel like Anfield gets louder. I think he's just got that affinity with Anfield. When he's not playing, or he's not shooting, or he's not involved in the game, it was dead quiet. I mean, I even tweeted in the game. I was like, "What's going on with Anfield?" Like, I could hear like conversations. I could hear some conversations like, "He's good enough." Like, do you know what I mean? Like that conversation.
We're having for dinner, man. We're having for dinner.
Do you know what I mean? Like, no, like literally, I could hear conversations. I was like, "This is crazy." Like, poor. And then all of a sudden, Nunez obviously came in. I think he made a challenge on. It might have been Janel, Jensen, someone that Rabbit made a challenge and then got the crowd roaring, and they started to roar. And then he went and had that shot where he jinked inside, and it was straight down the middle, but obviously he licked the shot with power. Anfield was roaring after that. But before then, Anfield was dead quiet, and I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. It's like
I told you, man, he's the we got Nunez, man. No, because Enrique wasn't doing no tackling on that, man. I think he's the special kid. You know what I'm saying? He's a special kind of kid. Do you know what I mean? So we try to big him up as much as we can, and obviously does his thing. He's got more. I want to say he's got more assists than he's got goals, and I feel like most of his assists have gone to Salah anyway this season, which would obviously make sense why he's got so many assists this season. But like I said, man, in the game for me, he was the best attacker. Like as an overall performance, that's what I was looking at. I didn't know about the stats. Like I tried not to. Obviously, I was more waiting for you to do this show, the tactical analysis and that, to really look at stats. But before, I didn't even care about the stats. Like, I didn't know how many shots, or like Jota took or Salah. I don't even care. I think just watching the game, Nunez was really the only one, as you said, trying to make things happen, gearing up the crowd. And the crowd, listen, look, they love him, man. They love him. And, you know, as long as he just kind of continues what he's doing, then, hey, man, we should have a successful season, you know, hopefully anyway.
Yeah, it's mad.
By the way, I don't think he's getting them goals, you know, so I don't think I'll be wearing that top next season. But you know,
well, you don't think he's getting 20 goals in the league?
Nah, bro, bro. How many times we said this, bro? You said 30, bro. I even pinned it on my bro. I pinned it on my Twitter. I pinned it on my. It's on my Twitter right now. Check it. It's on my Twitter. I pinned it.
Let's see.
Type in, if it's not pinned, then just type in Darwin Nunez on my Twitter. You can even put it up. Because Roms put it in the chat. Big up Roms, man. Roms put it in the chat, and I said, yeah. Just literally type in, you might have to just write Nunez. I don't know if I wrote Darwin Nunez, but just write Nunez. It should come up.
Checking now. I can't even find it, you know. You're lucky, you know.
Either way. Even the 20 in the league, I don't even think you'd get that anyway. But yeah, but regardless of that, like, I think for someone like him, I think what was more important was, because he got goals last season, remember? He scored 15, I think, in all competitions.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously that's kind of, that's not really that great. But yeah, as your first season, to be honest, it's still not that great. I am expecting a hell of a lot more than that. But I think the most important thing for someone like Nunez was more about your overall performances. Remember, we're talking about a guy who had the worst first touch. I mean, he's still kind of got a dead first touch, but like a bad first touch, controls all fugazi. He looked all awkward. Now he looks like a real football player. So now that's why when we talk about him this season, and we talk about like him, and everyone's like, oh, he's this and he's that, I'm always like, you do realize he's doing the things that you would just expect someone of a certain level to kind of realistically do. Hence the reason why I'll never really go over the top, because he's not doing anything that's like over the top, you know, kind of thing. He's not banging in goals left, right, center, and all that kind of stuff, where I'm like, yo, this brother's moving like Osimhen first season at Napoli, you know, that kind of vibe, where you're like, damn, okay, man, got to sit back and take notice, you know, these kind of guys. Forget how they look or whatever, and look what they're doing, look at what they're producing. And I think that's just kind of really the case with Nunez. Now he just looks like just a normal footballer. But obviously there's got to be levels to this. This can't be the best of Nunez, which I hope it's not. And I think people probably agree there probably is another layer or two, you know, with someone like Nunez. Whether he gets there, I don't know, man. But yeah, just keep on improving, man. Just keep doing your thing. You know what I'm trying to say? All them times you was getting bullied in the school and that, you know what I'm saying? Now you're turning into the tough kid. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Man got strength now. You know what I mean? And I like them kind of things there.
My man had drapes in him by his bag. He's grabbing man by the bag as well.
Bro,
man.
Yeah, now he's grabbing, like he went gym during the summer and said, nah, I'm not doing this next year. Like, I'm not getting bullied like that no more. Like now it's my turn to start bullying. And guess what? That's what he needed though, man. Man can't keep getting bullied every 2 seconds. Like I don't want you on my team. If you know what I'm saying, like we don't have them kind of players around. You know what I mean? Everyone can stick up for themselves. He couldn't stick up for himself last season. Now this season he is, trying to show that, nah, man, you can't just pick on me anymore. Now it's you got to pick on Endo or something, like not me. So yeah, I mean, man, keep it pushing.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Last one before we move on. We ain't got a lot of time left. I think that's it. Let's just get the lineup out. I'm gonna have a look at why, just analysis on why I think Tsimikas was able to play a bit better. And I think it was actually Tsimikas and Endo that allowed themselves to play better than they have done in previous games. Hold on, let me get this up. Guys, please make sure we're smashing a like, please. Much appreciated. G, you looking forward to this international break?
Oh, bro. No, not at all. I think...
I feel like it's come so quick. Or is it me?
No, because the last one was only like a month ago. Well, 3 weeks, yeah, or even 3 weeks ago. So, yeah. It's just too much, man. Man is so bored of this whole Nations League. Like, man, don't really care about like the Nations League. Like I fully don't care, and I don't even think the players even care half the time, man. Like, who wants to watch that?
Yeah, it's true.
Watch that, bro.
All right, cool. The lineup is here. Let me just share this tab. We ain't got a lot of time left, but yeah. So of course, this is obviously the lineup that we started with. And I think one thing that really, really helped us was in previous games, obviously, I think we've obviously had Tsimikas playing, and Tsimikas sometimes would come into this situation. And when you have like Gravenberch, that's a bit more advanced here, and we've got a winger in Diaz that's here, that doesn't really come back. Nunez will be here, and we sometimes even play like a 4 like this, because Gravenberch would just be just behind almost, like floating around. You've got Soboslai bombing here. Tsimikas is like there. You have a DM, which would be McAllister. Of course, you've got Trent that comes inverted here, and you've got like a 2. And it's like this lopsided, obviously 3 at the back. I think Tsimikas was getting exposed because he didn't really have any cover, man. You had McAllister as a DM, or like a Endo that had a poor game, which meant he'd lose the ball a lot. I think what we had in this game, which really helped Tsimikas kind of get forward, was the fact that Endo was here. And I know he didn't potentially make a lot of duels, but he made a lot of tactical fouls, which meant that Tsimikas didn't look like he was getting exposed. Of course, we also had Virgin, the team as well, that having that defensive cover meant that even if a ball went down the line or down in the channels, Virgil van Dijk was able to go and just snuff that out really, really easily. I don't know what you thought of that, but is there anything in the game that you saw and thought like positionally that was like, all right, cool, like that helped us do X, Y, or Z?
Maybe I'll give it to Endo in the middle. Endo was the best midfielder we had. So Bozolai was dead, Gakpo was dead. So yeah, I felt like he did what you said earlier on about the tactical fouls and stuff. Like I was just about to say, yeah, it's not showing up on the thing. Yeah, the tactical fouls, which also just allowed for players like Szoboszlai and Gakpo to be able to move the ball forward, which then meant we were able to get players like Tsimikas further forward into the pitch, as you're doing rightfully so here. Then Trent can then come into the middle of the park, get a bit more of a, would I say free roam, so to speak, but it then kind of opens up play a little bit. But then obviously, as you mentioned, we end up it does look a bit fugazi coming back the other way though, because now you just got mad space. And now Brentford are just, there was one chance I think that Vissa had where better first touch, he's in on goal. If that was, I think I said it, if Tony's there, boy, yeah, Tony touches that and bangs that straight, or even maybe even in Mbeumo, touch and bang kind of thing, and then Mbeumo also had that chance with him.
I thought Mbeumo, sorry to interrupt, I thought Mbeumo had a decent, I think it was a poor shot at first, but I saw it again, it was a good save from Alisson, because he tried to dink him. If Alisson misses that, that's
he just needed a bit more. Just needed a bit more of a dink. I think he could have just dinked in calm, but the dink was. It's almost like the ball was traveling so quick in order for him to try and dink it that he just didn't it was like the weight of that thing just wasn't enough. Like, but 100% can't take away from well, I don't want to take away from Ali, so to speak. But for me, it was more of a poor shot than it was a good save. The save was kind of easy; it just kind of trickled towards, man. He didn't really have to do too much, so to speak. He wasn't down low so much where you're like, oh my goodness, like Ali's a big guy anyway. You're not going to be able to do that kind of thing to him unless you really lift it. But yeah, what you're saying there about the Tsimikas stuff, all 100% agree. But it does leave us open. I didn't hear your stat about, like I was listening on the train about how many chances in that Brentford had. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things. But when you got a world-class goalkeeper there, yeah, I mean, there's only one of those in the world. Any other goalkeeper, I reckon Liverpool will be losing a lot more games this season, man. So we are blessed to have, someone like him behind in the sticks, man.
Yeah, obviously the matter thing is we had obviously 17 shots to their 16. Yeah, 10 obviously.
They had 16.
Yeah.
Fuck, shit, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. 17 to 16 shots. We had 10 on target. They had 3, but they had 2 big chances. We had 3 big chances. And we've seen in certain games where, we haven't been, you might have just lost that game or failed to like a poor decision or something. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we've drawn that game now because they had the same amount of big chances as us, but they just didn't need as many shots. So
that's mad. That's mad. But yeah, it was a calm performance, man. But I know we need to head out and that. But yeah, I just don't want people to be getting onto Endo when your boys are Bozalai, Dominic Gerrard and that. But he was dead food, man. Like, and we need to stop agendas on Endo. But then I heard not one person, not a content creator, not a fan, no one has spoken to Bozalai. I was like, are we watching the same game? Like, the brother was dead. But everyone was on to Endo. I was like, right, like at least Endo was trying something. The Bozalai was doing up Henderson, just running around and just looking like some lost child in the woods. Like, it just didn't really make no sense to me. But it is what it is, man.
These agendas happen with Szoboszlai, but then McAllister as well. McAllister can have a poor game, and people are like, yeah, but
but this.
It's like, hold on. Like, do you know what I mean? What about the whole? Do you know what I mean? Endo hasn't had a run of games. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't had that time to bed in that Klopp system. No one's saying that. So
no one says that.
Interesting, man. Couple comments before we obviously head out. We got Angel at 68 saying statistically we had the best defense in the Premier League, 10 goals conceded.
With Arsenal, by the way.
One of them, depends how you want to look at it. Steve Newton saying, can you imagine Salah's stats if he wasn't so wasteful? It would be a madness. Yeah, it would be. It would be. But I don't think he's as wasteful as people say. Like, I just think because he's our focal point, he gets more of the chance. I think Harry Kane wasted the same amount of chances when he was at Tottenham. So calm. We got 60 saying Szoboszlai has been Kloppified. Hopefully he can play left centre mid or left wing when we get a new DM. Maybe so. We got Neil Gunner saying Wissa was good too, just can't finish. Yeah, I think they're decent. Wissa and Broma are decent. I just don't think it was their day. And statistically, I already said if you're a betting man, you're betting on Liverpool to win this because Brentford have never beaten Liverpool away. Lost every single time. So, Angel is there saying Brazil play Colombia in this international break. I'm not even too sure.
I don't even care, man. I'm not trying.
Exactly. We got 60 saying, yo, what's up, Jerry and G? Do you guys think the team feeds off the crowd, especially at home at Anfield, when Nunez riled up the crowd from his challenge? We scored the first goal 2 minutes later. That's what my analysis is. That's why I was saying Nunez, even if he's not scoring, it seems as though he needs to play for us to have some sort of like, I don't know.
Well, our away record is crap, so it must be true.
Yeah,
it must be true.
Exactly. K-Mac here, interestingly, saying Bobby just said in his biography that Salah didn't like the other forwards in Mane and Nunez. He's looking for this. This is the evolution of Salah now. No, he didn't like the other forwards in Mane, Nunez. He is looking for the evolution of Salah now. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, I saw some comments on that. To be fair, big up to Jason Howell saying Klopp's plan B is to bring on players so they can continue plan A.
Like always.
Chuck this at G before we head out. Last comment saying from Steve Newton saying, who is Lucas Beraldo? Liverpool being linked.
I think he's a defender. I honestly, I don't know too much about him, but I think he plays over there in Brazil. seen a couple little bits, but that's probably someone that we'd probably sign. So forget Andre Trindade, we'll get this whoever this Lucas Beraldo brothers. You know what I mean?
We got Angel Knight 68, which is obviously a good obviously mention here, saying Angel Knight 68 is actually a good comment to end on, saying who plays 6 against City. Well, we weren't going to tell you now because you're going to have to tune into GTV for obviously his preview there. But yeah, obviously big ups. Obviously, thank you, G, for obviously coming on for a few minutes as well.
Come on, G. Love every time.
Thank you so much for everyone obviously tuning in, obviously to the tactics board as well. I need to head out because I need to do some coaching on myself. So yeah, Jerry's
the Klopp in the group still. He's the Klopp in the group. He plays this like 4-3-3, likes to have his inside forwards. It's all mad. Like if you guys ever hear Jerry, it's mad.
Yes, man. Shall I actually tell you what formation I play?
Go on then.
4-4-2.
Jerry's doing the Sam Allardyce thing. Yeah, I'm saying the 4-4-2, 4-4-1.
It is. In the team that I've got a couple of teams that I train, but the team that I've got now that I'm proper working hard with, they've been terrible, bro. Like, as in, I came in and like losing. They didn't understand like base. Like, as in, I have to start from somewhere, and they aren't good enough to play at the back. And we're still going to try to, but we need to know that defensively we can be a Burnley, and that we're going to start from becoming a Burnley first, then we can transition. Like, we need to be hard to beat, because otherwise we're going to get. Otherwise, it's just that bad. It's that bad. But
okay.
There we go. But yeah, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure, obviously, we're liking if you're watching this on a kind of repeat or watching this. Do you know what I mean? After we've been live, please make sure we're liking, and we're heading over to GTV as well, G Football and YouTube, as always. But yeah, it's been the Tactics Board on the Jerry James Show. Have a great evening, and we are out, people. Take it easy.
Peace.